Like so many of you, it is painful and disheartening to see how much divisiveness is being fomented by those who wish to tear us apart. We have people in positions of power who are not thinking about the well-being of the people. Where is the conversation about peace? Every time we launch these interventionist regime change wars, it is not only our veterans who pay the price for that. Every single one of us pays the price. We have spent trillions of your taxpayer dollars to pay for these wars, taking those dollars away from our communities and our people who need them right here at home. We feel for the suffering of people in these countries, and we want to be able to help them. And so many of these wars are begun and waged from a place of humanitarianism. Yeah. But the reality is, and it's a harsh reality, that there is more suffering and more loss of life and more destruction as a result of these wars, which does not serve the people in these countries, nor does it serve our interests and our security.
She couldn't have laid out the case any clearer. But as you listen to the questions that are going to come from these women, you're going to realize that they didn't listen to a damn thing she said. They weren't even listening to her. They were just waiting they had their questions prepared, and then they just asked them anyway.
My understanding is you know how I feel about your stance on foreign policy. And when I hear the name Tulsi Gabbard, I think of an Assad apologist. I think...
Oh, God. Oh, man.
She says that on TV, is smearing a veteran to her face. What if someone did that to your father? Question his patriotism. Oh, my God, the earth would stop. You're doing it to her face on TV, calling her a traitor to your country. That's what this is.
Someone who comes back to the United States and is spouting propaganda from Syria. You have said that the Syrian President Assad is not the enemy of the United States, yet he's used chemical weapons against his own people 300 times. That was a red line with President Obama. That's our...
Okay, again, we've debunked all that stuff here on this program. And it's not just us at this program, but the guy who was the head of the British Navy also debunked this on BBC. This Assad is winning the war, and he gassed his own people in the middle of winning the war. Again, that's propaganda, and everybody just repeats it. And Tulsi has to go along with it because it's accepted as fact in the United States, just like Russia hacked our election. It's just accepted as fact, and it's repeated as fact now, even though there's absolutely no evidence. And in fact, the gas evidence goes the other way.
That is not our enemy. 13 million Syrians have been displaced. So when you say regime change is hurtful for the country, but gassing children isn't more hurtful, it's hard for me to understand where you come from a humanitarian standpoint if you were to become president.
So right now we're committing a genocide. We're helping Saudi Arabia commit a genocide in Yemen. So that's how you know what she's saying is complete bull. It's just mindless propaganda. She has no idea what she's talking about. The Syrian war is a war that the United States actually started. I showed it to you. Jeffrey Sachs laid it down for them on MSNBC's Morning Joe. The CIA went in and they started paying rebels, terrorists, ISIS, al-Nusra. We started paying them to go try to get rid of Assad. Why? Because they want to put a pipeline through it. That's why. And Russia doesn't want that pipeline to go through it, so he's backing Assad. That's why. And that pipeline is going to bring natural gas to Europe. Now, Russia sells most of the natural gas to Europe. They don't want that pipeline coming through there, and that's why we have a war. These are the real reasons for the war, which they never, ever, ever even bring up on this show.
Well, you're putting words in my mouth that I've never said.
You did not say that Syrian President Assad is not the enemy of the United States. Say it now. Clarify.
The issue here is how can we help alleviate the suffering of people?
Just really one moment. Is he an enemy of the United States?
An enemy of the United States is...
So is this an interview or an interrogation? And that's what I would have said if I was her. Is this an interview or an interrogation? Did you ever serve? No, I didn't think so. I've served 2 tours, and I'm a major. So if you want to know something about war, you should shut up for a little while and let me talk. She's not going to say that because that would be the soundbite everybody uses, and it'll make her look like she's angry.
Someone who threatens our safety and our security. There is no disputing the fact that Bashar al-Assad in Syria is a brutal dictator. There is no disputing the fact that he has used chemical weapons and other weapons against his people. There are other terrorist groups in Syria who have used similar chemical weapons and other weapons of terror against the people of Syria. This is an unfortunate thing that wrenches at every one of our hearts. This is not something I'm disputing, nor am I apologizing or defending these actions. My point is that the reality we are facing here is that since the United States started waging a covert regime change war in Syria, starting in 2011, the lives of the Syrian people have not been improved. Their well-being has not gotten to a better place. Their suffering has not decreased. It has increased, in addition to the fact that Al-Qaeda is strong.
After Vietnam, after the first Gulf War was revealed to be a sack of lies, the second Iraq War, sack of lies, can you still believe that the United States is actually intervening to help people? Could you be that gullible?
Today than ever before. So not only are we dealing with the fact that this regime change war we've been waging in Syria has not helped the Syrian people, it has made their lives worse off. It has also undermined our national security, leaving us in a place where Al-Qaeda is a stronger threat there than they.
So they just are bent on ignoring her point that every time we intervene, it makes it worse. Can you point to one time we intervened and made it bad? We're currently bombing 8 countries. We just did Iraq and Libya. And what is wrong with you? They're just ignoring what her point is. Yes, I know it's bad. That dictators are bad people. Us intervening makes things worse. What about that don't you get? And right now we're committing a genocide in Yemen. So again, this is just, ignorance on parade, on steroids. Here we go. Let's
never have been before. Tulsi. And Iran has greater influence in Syria than ever before.
The exact opposite of what we want. Iran has greater influence in Iraq because of our invasion of Iraq. Libya is a failed state. Now ISIS has a home base now in Libya because we went into Libya. Now it's just amazing. So here's what Tulsi Gabbard tweeted out after this. She says, for Megan McCain and those clamoring for regime change wars, Senator McCain says, she's quoting Senator McCain, the Iraq war with its cost in lives and treasure and security can't be judged as anything other than a mistake, a very serious one, and I have to accept my share of the blame for it.
Great.
My friends, brothers, and sisters in arms, lives and limbs lost, millions of innocent children, women, men dead, Al-Qaeda strengthened, trillions of dollars, millions of immigrants, countries destroyed. But Megan McCain, neocons and neolibs' quest to save countries by destroying them just gets stronger.